friends, and welcome back to another installment of the 94 podcast. I'm Brook Eddle, joined here by Jim Bushy and also Coach Chauncey Williams-Bearfield. Let's go. All right, so we got some great topics to jump into, and I know it's the holiday edition here. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and a Happy New Year to everyone that is viewing and streaming and watching our channel, both here at CCX and also on YouTube and all the platforms that you do consume the 94 podcast. We want to touch on a couple topics here in the NFL, college football, also some NBA headlines, and then we want to also touch on the boxing debut between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua and how that ended. Some controversy there, as always, with these fights. There was a knockout, and a lot of people were happy in seeing Jake Paul get knocked out. But before we get into that topic, I wanted to also just start off with these NFL topics on contenders and pretenders. As we take a look at the NFL playoff picture to kick off, we have three teams that have secured a playoff spot. Number one seed right now for both the NFC and the AFC, we have the Seattle Seahawks in a thriller against the Los Angeles Rams. We're able to secure the number one seed, but they still have two more games to go. They won on that two-point conversion. We can talk a little bit about that, the controversy behind that, the refs, Puka Nacua, before and after the game. But the Denver Broncos, the Seattle Seahawks are the respective number one seeds for both the AFC and NFC, and the Los Angeles Rams have secured a playoff spot. So there's only 5 available spots left in the NFC. On the flip side, in the AFC, we have 6 available playoff spots. And as we take a look at the teams in the hunt currently, we have the New England Patriots, who face off against Baltimore and Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and the defense that is picking up some speed right now, being able to turn over the ball. We haven't seen that lately with Baltimore, but it's a different team when they can turn the ball over and run the football. And the Chicago Bears, a big-time matchup in the NFC North. They're currently first in the North. They got Green Bay at home. What better situation for Ben Johnson right now to put his stamp on this season after starting the season saying that, hey, I am looking forward to beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. And I know that was the match that lit the gasoline to this rivalry. And we know that this rivalry is going to always be there. So big matchup between the Bears and the Packers. We'll see if we can see the good, better, and best from the Chicago Bears this week. Moving to the third seed in the AFC, the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Denver Broncos, the number one seed. This one, I honestly feel like this could have been a Monday night game, but we'll talk about the San Francisco 49ers and their path to potentially the number one seed if they win out as well. So there's a lot of playoff implications. Another game that's going on today is the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Washington Commanders. Eagles right now sit at the third seed, number one in the NFC East. And as we take a look at the other teams in the playoff hunt, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 4, first in the AFC North. And then we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers clinging to life, number 1 in the NFC South. They go up against the Carolina Panthers. What a sneaky team the Carolina Panthers have been all season. They're in the hunt for the division. And we'll break this down a little bit further. We'll just wrap up here with the teams that are currently in the playoff bracket. The LA Chargers are 5th currently with the Justin Herbert. They're second in the AFC West, trailing the Denver Broncos. They have a big matchup against Dallas, so they get to go to Dallas to take on the Cowboys, and one of those teams more likely will get an opportunity to strengthen their playoff hopes. And we got the San Francisco 49ers that we mentioned earlier.
Dang.
They have an opportunity to win out and win the number 1 seed in the NFC. They have a tilt against the Indianapolis Colts. And then we got the Josh Allen-led Buffalo Bills. And nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills, being down 21-0 on the road in Foxborough, being able to come back and win and still have a chance to win the division. They go up against Cleveland and Shadur Sanders and Myles Garrett. So the Bills have a chance. If the Patriots were to open the door and lose to the Baltimore Ravens, the Bills have a chance to win the AFC North, or the AFC East, excuse me. And the Packers, we mentioned, last team right now in the playoff bracket, going up against the Chicago Bears later today. Big time matchup in the NFC North. Packers sitting at 9-4-1, and then the Houston Texans are second in the AFC South, trailing the Jacksonville Jaguars. They get a must-win game against Las Vegas, and seeing what C.J. Stroud is able to do and being able to follow up his first 2 seasons on being able to win the AFC South. Let's see if he can do it again this year. But I'll just open it up to you guys, and then we'll also talk about the teams on the bubble. But looking at this playoff picture, what are your thoughts, gentlemen?
You threw a lot at us. Maybe we should take it like game by game
Yeah.
or matchup by matchup and just kind of break it down from there.
Yeah, we can break it down. We're taking a look at the matchup, Denver versus Jacksonville. Let's start with that.
For me, I trust Denver a lot more than Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence has not had a good history of coming up big in big games. He had the playoff game a couple years ago where he threw 4 interceptions and they somehow managed to come back and win the game. And if you look at his career in big moments, he typically shrinks in those environments. Denver's defense is the best in the league. They have the best pass rush in the league. We have a great secondary as well. So I can see them smothering Lawrence and making it difficult for them. And with Denver's ability to run the ball as well, I trust Denver a lot more than Jacksonville. If I had to make a score prediction on that, I'd say something like 27-14 or 27-17.
Jim?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Coach here. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. Yeah, they have the playoff experience. Yeah, they know how to get into the big games. They don't know how to win the big games. That's what I'm coming from. I'm going to have to go Denver here. Denver Bo Nix. It's going to go 37-17.
Okay. I'm going to go on the opposite side here. I feel like Jacksonville is going to break up the 11-game win streak. I mean, what an amazing run by the Broncos so far to get to the number 1 seed. That defense, their running game, and their ability to just make timely plays time after time. Even last week against Green Bay, they were down in the second half. They were able to rally the troops, make the plays that they needed to. Obviously, Green Bay was hurt by that non-contact injury to Micah Parsons. That definitely shifted the tide in what Green Bay was doing on defense. But what I like about Trevor Lawrence is that he's able to use his legs to be a weapon. I think that's what has really elevated his game the last couple of weeks, and he's been consistent so far, but I feel like this is the huge litmus test for him going into Denver, Mile High. That's going to be a crazy atmosphere. I see the Jaguars winning this game. Close game. I feel like it's going to be 27-24. It's gonna come down to a late drive for Trevor Lawrence to prove that Jacksonville is going to be a threat going into the AFC and realizing that the AFC is going to be wide open come playoff time, because there's no Patrick Mahomes, there's no Kansas City Chiefs, there's no boogeyman for a lot of these AFC teams. And we did mention the other games that are going on. We could take a look at the Patriots going to Baltimore for Sunday Night Football. Who wants to break this one down? I'll leave it open here for anybody that wants to give their prediction here. Jim, Coach.
Patriots, Baltimore, you said?
You're going Patriots. How much?
Oh, yeah. No, I want to go. I think Patriots are going to win this one. I think I'm going to give my statement first. I think it's going to be a good game. It's a good test. You have a sophomore versus Lamar Jackson, who is a veteran who knows how to get through to the playoffs. He knows how to lead the team. But Lamar Jackson has not been playing well. He hasn't been making the throws. He's not running like he used to be. He's not making the plays happen. Drake May, if he can continue to improve, and if that defense could come through, they can win the AFC North. They can AFC East. They can go and make a deep run. Maybe win it, maybe not. Well, maybe not. But I'm going to go Patriots. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be 21-14.
For me,
Okay.
I respect that. Me being a big fan of the Ravens, primarily because of Derrick Henry. I love Derrick Henry, especially the zone running game that he's excelled in over his career. So I'm more of a Derrick fan, but also I'm pulling for Lamar, man. But Lamar makes it hard, man. Every time they get in a big game where the money's on the table, he is what I call a crash out. He mentally melts down. He presses too hard. He starts making dumb mistakes. And their team in general is built that way. Zay Flowers fumbling at the 1 yard line, getting unsportsmanlike penalties. Lamar coming to the sideline, throwing his helmet, yelling and screaming. They just crash out. They're not tough mentally. They're not composed. So this is a big moment. Their playoff hopes are really pretty much in the balance these next couple of weeks. So it's really, they've already activated playoff mode. So adding to that, Lamar is injured and not practicing regularly. So he's kind of like just winging it, really. He's missing 1 or 2 practices a week. And he has not been himself. He has not played up to his standard or the expectations we have from him. So with all that said, they need to run the freaking football, man. It is a fact. If you look at their history with Derrick Henry, when Derrick gets over, I think it's 22 carries, just 22 freaking carries, they're like 95% wins, guaranteed to win the game. So cold weather, AFC North, Baltimore, playoff mode, run the freaking ball with one of the best backs to ever do it, a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. Let him earn his stripes. You know, I feel like part of it, they've been taking some carries off of him for these moments to get in this stretch run, get in the playoffs where they can ride him. It's that time, bro. Activate that horse. And Derrick Henry, run the football, play good defense. And I feel like Baltimore is scary, especially with no Patrick Mahomes, no Burrow, Lamar, and Josh Allen. I know I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but Lamar and Josh Allen, dog, it's your time. The big bad wolf and the Chiefs are out of it. I know we haven't talked about Mahomes yet, but he's not in it. Josh and Lamar, they need to capitalize. This might be their only time they can get a chip. And we've seen it year in, year out in multiple sports. You look at the basketball with Michael Jordan. How many people don't have rings because they had to go through Jordan? How many people don't have rings because they had to go through Tom Brady, had to go through Peyton Manning to get to a chip? So my point being, they need to freaking run the ball. If they do so, and I hope they do so, I'm leaning on them to do so. I see them winning the game. If they don't, I don't think it'll be close. The Patriots have been playing outstanding football. They had a little bit of a slip up last week where they got a big lead and kind of let the guard down a little bit and gave up a big lead. Mike Vrabel, a coach that I'm a big fan of, I don't see him letting them do that again. And this is that wake-up call that they need. So if the Ravens play up to their potential, I can see them winning. If they don't, I think it's going to be a blowout. So here's what I'm going to say. With all that said, I'm picking the Patriots. I'm picking the Patriots 31-17. Patriots 31-17.
Okay. So we had. Okay. That's a decent game. I mean, like it's two possession, but okay. Jim, you had Patriots 21-14 touchdown game.
Yes, it's gonna be a closer game. I think both defenses are gonna come together, and yeah, it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a fun game to watch.
It's a night game. Yeah, there's gonna be the crowd's gonna get into it. It's a rivalry between these two AFC elite franchises that have won Super Bowls recently, and I know Lamar Jackson is trying to get over that hump. And on Sunday Night Football, I think this is going to be that, put up or shut up moment for the Baltimore Ravens. And Coach had talked about, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry needs to get the ball multiple times, over 22 carries. If they don't get him the ball, I don't really see too many ways for the Ravens to win this game. But Drake May, I don't think he's going to have another, quiet second half. I don't know what happened after they jumped out to a 21-0 in the first half against Buffalo. They kind of went into cruise control and played not to lose, then play to win. And I have to go Patriots. I just feel like the Patriots have just been more consistent. And Patriots knowing what's in front of them, knowing that you can't open the door for Buffalo to potentially win the division and steal home field away. I think New England's going to win this game. I'm going with the score of 29-22. I think it's going to be a good back and forth, but I feel like there's going to be one critical mistake where the Patriots are able to capitalize and win this game on the road. All right, that brings us to the Bears at the number 2 seed here. They are the team that is in the lead in the NFC North. They have a playoff probability, if they lose, would drop to 60%.
7.
And
Sorry,
they would drop down to the 7th seed, but they would still have to. They would have the hardest remaining schedule because I believe they still got the San Francisco 49ers on the schedule. So it would be the Packers, 49ers, and then they would finish with the Detroit Lions. So if with a loss, they would drop down to 60%. They're currently at 78% of making the playoffs and a 94% chance to make the playoffs with a win. And more likely, you're securing the NFC North with this win. Green Bay, Chicago, historic rivalry. We know that this is going to be one of those huge moments for Chicago. And I know Chicago's been in the news with their stadium issues, whether they're going to be moving to Northwest Indiana. Soldier Field is one of the smallest stadiums in the NFL, if not the smallest stadium in the NFL currently. They definitely need an upgrade, and they're looking to potentially get a dome so they can get a Super Bowl in Chicago, which has never happened before. There's a lot to unpack here, and it's Packers week. They got Jordan Love where they want him. They got him on the road. Caleb Williams has that opportunity to prove that he is the true franchise quarterback for the Chicago Bears, and also Ben Johnson being able to prove to the Chicago fan base that he's not going to fold against the Green Bay Packers. Jim, you're in Green Bay, so what's your sentiment on this game? Like, how are the streets in Green Bay? How do they feel right now? Are they excited or are they nervous going up against Chicago this week?
I mean, everyone's excited. It's you said, a historic rivalry between the two franchises. I'm really disappointed in Chicago. I mean, football's meant to be played outside, not in a dome. I understand that you want to have Super Bowl. The Super Bowl should be played outside, no matter where you are in the country. It needs to be played outside. But if big question is how is the Packers defense going to stop Caleb Williams? They did 2 weeks ago was Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons was a big factor, forcing it. They literally hit the whole Parsons to stop him. Now you take that threat away. I don't. I know my web editor over there is going to like me for making this prediction. I gotta go Bears. Bears are going to win 24-21.
Okay, 24-21. That's a nip-tuck game. Okay.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of the Bears right now. They have, with Ben Johnson, that running game is a thing of beauty. They are playing beautiful football right now, running the ball with that zone running game, keeping the pressure off of Caleb, letting him make plays here and there, play action passes to complement the running game and use his mobility. And it has been a formula that has paid off in huge dividends. Without Micah Parsons to put that additional pressure on Caleb to get those quarterback hurries and pressures, I feel really confident that the Bears are going to win this game. And I don't trust Jordan Love. Jordan Love is good. You can book it. 2 terrible turnovers. It's going to happen. He's going to throw 2 horrible interceptions. That's going to put the Bears in a situation to take advantage. And I do think it's going to be a tight game. So I'd say like 24-21, 27-24, something like that. 3-point game, tight game. But I think the running game, no Micah and Jordan Love making some dumb mistakes will be the difference.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go Packers just because I don't want to be part of that like clean sweep of Chicago picks. I'm going with the Packers. I feel like with Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, I know that they're going to have to step up, especially losing a superstar in Micah Parsons and realizing that their playoff hopes are on the line because they definitely want that home field advantage because the Packers haven't really been too strong of a team on the road, losing games that, kind of just make you scratch your head, losing to Cleveland on the road. I feel like they are a better team at home, but this will give the Bears an opportunity to make this an exciting game. But I got the Packers winning this game 31-21. I feel Caleb Williams, I think, will get baited into another mistake late in this game where I think it will be a one-possession game, but I think it'll either be a special teams or a defensive turnover. I think that shifts the tide in this game. But with all that being said, I think this is going to be one of those classic Bears-Packers games. 31-21, Jordan Love gets it done on the road. And I haven't seen it for the Bears. I need a little bit more. They've done a really good job of being able to run the ball. I want to continue to see Kyle Monangai, DeAndre Swift be able to control because they potentially may not have one of their key players on offense, Rome Odunze. I think that kind of shifts the tide for me. If Rome Odunze was healthy, I would probably go Bears. But Rome Odunze is kind of hampered with that injury. I think that kind of limits a couple of things that Chicago likes to do on offense. But yeah, I think this will go down to the last week of the season for the NFC North. I got the Packers adding a little bit more chaos to the NFC North division race. And then I hope I'm wrong. But I got the Packers winning with the absence of Micah Parsons. I think it's going to be a lot of people choosing the Bears, so I'm going to go with Packers in this game. We did talk about Jaguars and Denver already. Let's fast forward to the Eagles and Commanders. Eagles have an opportunity to clinch the NFC East, eliminate the Dallas Cowboys in a game against the Washington Commanders, who are already thinking about 2026 and beyond?
Coach, all you, I said.
The Eagles drive me crazy. They are the most talented, dysfunctional team you can watch. They lead the league by a wide margin in 3 and outs on offense, which is insane with the amount of talent they have. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Goddard at tight end. I mean, there's so many weapons for them to go 3 and out. They can't run the ball. Jalen is overrated. He can't throw over the middle because he's short and he's not a natural passer of the football. So, all that said, I mean, they got the Commanders. They better freaking beat the Commanders. And Jaden Daniels is done for the season, right?
Yeah, he's done for the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so
He's on IR.
Eagles better win. That's all I got to say. Eagles better win. And I say 28-14.
Solid score.
So I have to agree. I mean, you have this talented team who is going to win the NFC East. The way they play just scratches my head sometimes. It's like, how can you be this talented and you play like this? Now, yes, they're going against a Washington Commanders who is not having a good year. They've lost so many players to injury. I mean, I would love to see an upset. I would love to see something happen, but we gotta go Eagles. I'm gonna go 27-17.
27-17. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to keep this short. Yeah, I'm going Eagles. Clean sweep here. The NFC East is going to go to the Philadelphia Eagles. Being able to play a Commanders team while they're wounded. Definitely, you looked at the schedule at the beginning of the season, you're thinking, wow, this is going to be an epic showdown between the NFC Championship rematch between the Eagles and the Washington Commanders. We're not going to get that. Eagles win this game going away 30-10. I feel like you got to go back to that formula that won you a Super Bowl on being able to run the ball, and then also Jalen Hurts needs to run the ball himself to kind of get into rhythm. I feel like he's always off rhythm. This might be a game where this could be dangerous for a lot of the NFC if the Eagles can get in rhythm right before the playoffs, because not only do they play the Commanders this week, they also play the Commanders week 18. So they get 2 dress rehearsals against a team that is just giving up opportunities on defense. Moving into the other team in Pennsylvania, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Detroit Lions in Week 16. Steelers stand at 58% with a loss and 78% for a win. They're currently sitting at 62% to make the playoffs. Mike Tomlin is first in the AFC North and looking to clinch another winning season. He's never had a losing season in Pittsburgh. Coach, I want to hear your take on what Mike Tomlin has the ability to do against the Detroit Lions and what the Detroit Lions can do against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think that the Lions play a very predictable style of defense. So teams that have blistered them and torched them have had great success exposing their man coverage. They literally play like 80 to 90% man coverage. It's, it coming in. They never make adjustments. They just play man over and over and over again. With that said, teams with experienced coordinators and quarterbacks like an Aaron Rodgers, I think because they'll be so predictable, that will lend a hand to Aaron and the Steelers being able to expose them. And I don't think that the Lions will be able to run all over them. That's their MO on offense, is run and take play action passes. Jared Goff does not do a good job of throwing the ball in true drop back scenarios, especially with pressure in his face. So with all that said, I'm going to go with the Lions. I think that the Lions have just a little bit more firepower on offense, and I think it's going to be difficult for the Steelers to keep pace with them. So I'm going to go something like, I'd say 24-17.
24-17,
I mean,
big win there. Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
huge win.
Huge.
So the Lions, yeah, they're still trying to fight their way in, and they're trying to make sure that, again, because you don't want to be that team left out because you lost against the team. But I gotta say this, it's a big game for both. Pittsburgh with a healthy Rodgers, he can lead the team down the field. He knows he's been in the league for so long. Yeah, Jared Goff in Detroit, he's been in the league a long time. It's all going to be on the defensive side, and I think Pittsburgh's going to have better D. So I think I'm going to go Pittsburgh this game. I mean, both teams need to win. I'm going to go Pittsburgh. I'm going to go 34-30. Actually, no, not 34-30. It's going to be 21-14.
Okay. So you got Steelers.
Yep,
Huge.
Steelers 24-17.
24-17. Okay. And coach, you went with the Detroit Lions. Okay. Got him. I'm feeling Detroit because I really liked what Detroit did in that shootout against the Los Angeles Rams, being able to hold their own. But I think they're just a different team when Jahmyr Gibbs gets the ball, and I think that's the formula to success for the Lions here. And Dan Campbell knows it. Being the play caller, got to get Gibbs involved. You got to also get Monty involved. That's one thing I haven't seen as much, and I feel like that has also left the Detroit Lions offense on the sidelines for too long and forcing the Lions defense just to play extended minutes and not playing the time of possession game. I feel with Rodgers on the other side, you just limit his opportunities, and I don't feel they can keep up. I don't think they can keep up with what Detroit can offer on offense with Amon St. Brown, Jamison Williams. They're getting healthy at the right time with their wide receiver core. Also with Isaac Tesla, I feel like Jared Goff has opportunities here. I think Zach Laporta might be back. I think he did miss a couple of games. So I'm expecting the Detroit Lions to win this game. It's a hard-fought battle against the Steelers, and knowing that Aaron Rodgers is very familiar with Detroit, I think it's going to be a closer game than most expect. But I got this Detroit Lions win this game 27-20. That brings us to a sneaky good game here. And I'll open up with Jim here with your prediction and your analysis on the Buccaneers and Carolina Panthers, a battle of the NFC South. Who will be the king of the NFC South?
I mean, this is a fun thing to watch. I mean, it's been a while since we've said the NFC South was like competitive, not just one team's going to win it all and nothing else. So it's fun to talk about this. And
first of two matchups, by the way, as well. Just want to add that. Yeah.
It's important. It's important. First of two, you win the first one, you automatically give yourself a heads up, a leg up, and possibly winning this division. Because I don't think any teams are going. I don't think any team's coming out of for a wild card from this division. So you win game one, you set yourself up for victory. You make sure that you're able to get into the playoffs. Now, I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan. Ever since he came there to Tampa, he's been showing everything. He's been proving why he deserves to be in the league. He's proving the Browns, Carolina, proving LA Rams, I believe, wrong, that they should have kept him on his team. But look at Bryce Young. He's taken a team that's from 2 wins or 4 wins total for the past 2 years to playing for the division. And he's finally showing why he was worth the number 1 overall pick. Yeah, he still needs to develop, but it's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm going to go Tampa, and I'm going to go 14-10.
Okay. Defensive battle.
Oh, yeah.
Hard to argue that. I just don't trust what's going on down in Tampa right now. There's a lot of kind of funk in the air. The coach crashing out in post game after their last loss, and Baker kind of pushing back against that publicly. But if I had to pick Baker or Bryce Young, I think I trust Baker more than Bryce Young. Although Bryce Young's doing a really good job. You know what? I'm going to switch that. I'm going to go with Carolina. Bryce Young is playing really well. Their running game with Eddle and all of them, they're doing a really good job on the ground. That defense is sneaky, pretty solid. I just don't like the vibes with the coach and what's going on with Tampa, and their defense has been getting up a lot of points all year. So I'm going to go with Carolina, like a 24-17 type situation. Also, Mike Evans came back last week, and he was crashing out, acting crazy on the sideline and storming off the field. So those bad vibes, them underperforming, seeming like they're not on the same page. A big division battle. I'm going with Carolina. They're unified. They're playing together. They're on the same vibe. 24-17.
24-17. Okay. Yeah, like Mike Evans was crashing out. You mentioned as well their coach was crashing out in the presser, and then Baker Mayfield, kind of some turmoil in that locker room, and now you get Bucky Irving back, one of the young stars in the NFL, and it's kind of sad to see that you don't get to see him in a potential playoff setting. But yeah, I got to go with Carolina. And Carolina has a tough road ahead. Not only does Carolina play Tampa Bay this week, they go and they play Seattle the week after. And then after that, then you get another dose of Tampa Bay. I think Carolina knows what's in front of them. They know they need this game because Tampa Bay, they go up against Miami. The strength of schedule there is just a lot easier. It's an easier path for Tampa Bay. I think there's going to be more urgency with Carolina to run the ball. And Bryce Young, I know that he's going to step up for Carolina and get off to a fast start. I think that's going to be a huge thing to see because last week what we saw with Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons, they got off to a fast start and forced the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to play from behind. And it seemed like the defense couldn't make the play. Mike Evans screaming in the coach's faces and saying that it was 3rd and 28. If you want to reverse that, that was 28-3 for the Atlanta Falcons. So they might have, I don't know what the cause is, but I feel like Mike Evans just needs to cool it because screaming in your coach's face on national television, that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help the case because you still have to win games. Your season's not over just losing that game, but I like what Carolina's formula is currently with what they got going on. So I got Carolina winning this game 24-19. All right, that brings us back to the AFC side. The LA Chargers, the Slayers of Kansas City, eliminating them from the playoff contention. So there will be no Patrick Mahomes. And obviously Patrick Mahomes suffered a season-ending injury. We'll talk about that later. But the Chargers, they go up against the Dallas Cowboys in a playoff-loaded matchup. Justin Herbert, injured left hand, and they're not in a space where they can win the division. I don't see them winning the division, but securing a 5th seed, I think, is essential because the 4-5 right now would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I will open it up. Coach, I want to get your take on what you're seeing with the Los Angeles Chargers going up against the Dallas Cowboys?
Dallas Cowboys ain't got no defense, man. If they had any type of defense, they would have a totally different year. Their offense is explosive and have been putting up numbers all year. George Pickens, I feel confident he has some sort of bipolar disorder or a mental health problem. He is so high and then so low, and it affects him to the point where he's just like in a hole that he can't get out of mentally, and it affects him obviously on the field. So even with that said, I feel confident that the Chargers, because they have better defense, will be able to slow down the Cowboys enough and get enough stops to where that even if it might end up being a shootout, I could see it being like a 31-34 affair in the Chargers' favor. So I'm going Chargers, like 31-34 shootout, but they get one or two stops that Dallas can't and end up winning.
Jimmy?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Dallas, yeah, they look good on the offense side, but the defense is just not there. They're easily going to get torn up back there, and rightly so. I mean, they lose Parsons in the offseason. I know we're like all the way in week 16, but like they lose Parsons, and now they're struggling on defense. Who would have known that was going to happen? And you got the Chargers. The Chargers are playing well. They're second in the AFC West. They're still fighting for a playoff spot. It's going to be the Chargers. I'm going to go Chargers. I'm going to go 31-14.
All right, yeah, I'll keep it brief too. Los Angeles Chargers, their defense has been playing a lot better. They're being able to take the ball away. They were giving Philadelphia fits. You saw last week with Kansas City, they were able to limit a lot of what they like to do, getting the ball to Rashee Rice, getting the ball to Travis Kelce, hard hits. Seeing the versatility of Derwin James, and also the pass rush. Mike Minter is probably up for one of the head coaching jobs they're going to open up, whether it's in Miami, whether the New York Giants. But I feel like the Los Angeles Chargers, they take care of business here. They're 99% chance to get into the playoffs. And I feel like they're going to have that urgency to secure a playoff spot, and just knowing that the Buffalo Bills are breathing right down their necks right now, and knowing that the Buffalo Bills have a favorable matchup. So I got the Los Angeles Chargers showing up and taking out Dallas, and the final blow to the Dallas Cowboys season, and eliminating Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and what a hell of a year by Javonte Williams. I expect him to be back with the Dallas Cowboys. I know he's on a one-year contract, but it's all offense, but you need to still play defense, and they haven't been able to do enough this season. Quinnen Williams left the game last week against Minnesota, so that's a big blow to their defense and any kind of momentum that they were getting with that trade that they made with the New York Jets. Yeah, I got the Chargers winning this game, going away 31-17. I think they just are going to outmatch and outmuscle Dallas Cowboys. That brings us to Coach's favorite team, the San Francisco 49ers, or one of his favorite teams here. They have an opportunity here on Monday night to showcase what they can do against Old Man Rivers, at Philip Rivers. This is going to be an intriguing matchup. Coach, I'll let you break it down here. You got your 49ers going up against the Indianapolis Colts on Monday night under the bright lights.
Bang, bang, Niner gang. It is time to discuss the most underappreciated 10-4, third-seeded football team in quite some time. For the sake of time, Coach Shanahan, Coach of the Year. No Joey Bosa. No Nick Bosa. No Fred Warner. We had quarterback out for most of the beginning of the season. George Kittle was out. No Brandon Ayuk, crashed out and quit the team.
Right.
No Deebo Samuel. And we're still 10-4. Heck of a coaching job by Coach Saleh on defense, Kyle Shanahan on offense, and Coach Shanahan by guiding the ship. With that said, all we got to do is stop the goddamn run. Phillip Rivers is not about to beat us. So we got to put 8, 9, 10 people in the box and stop the running game with Jonathan Taylor and force a 44-year-old quarterback to beat us by throwing. I think is a pretty easy path to a victory. So I'm going bang, bang, Niner gang. I'm saying 28-10. Bang, bang. Faithful to the Bay. 4-5.
Ooh. Gotta love that.
Gotta love it. I gotta agree. Like, you're looking at a team that's 10-4. It's nothing to scoff at, and they're third in the division. You said
Third in the division, correct?
They're third in the NFC.
Third in the NFC.
NFC West.
NFC West. They have. It's like the NFC North last year. You have 3 teams that can make the playoffs and 1 team that stinks. And my goodness, it's tough. I mean, you're going against Old Man Rivers, and if you stop the run, your chances of winning the game goes up. I mean, as we saw last week, Rivers can still throw the ball. He could still sling it, but he's not going to outrun you. So it's going to be mostly a running game. And if you can stop the run, I'm going to talk myself into this. San Francisco 49ers. We're going to go 31-17.
49ers?
Yep.
Okay. I thought you said I was going to talk myself into the upset. Okay.
No.
The fact that you had to talk yourself into a win for my Niners is crazy, first off. They're going against a 44-year-old quarterback, and they don't got no Sauce Gardner on defense, no DeForest Buckner on D-line. What are we talking about, son?
To be fair, I have been only able to watch 1 week of football on a Sunday. I've been at work on Sundays. So I have to go over highlights and what I see and what our sports reporters do. So I have to go off of that. So I'm sorry for disrespecting your 49ers. That's what I'm going for.
I mean, hey, they gave Seattle a game last week.
It was a game.
It was a game.
Hey, I accept your apology, man. I accept your apology.
Oh, that's beautiful.
At least you came correct and got it right.
All right. All right. So the 49ers, 10-4. Right now, they sit at a 98% chance to make the playoffs. So solid chances for the 49ers moving forward. Not to look ahead, but we did mention that they do have a path. They control their destiny to the number 1 seed in the NFC. If they win out, so they take care of the Colts, they take care of next week against the Chicago Bears, and then last week 18, they take care of the Seattle Seahawks. The NFC would go through the San Francisco 49ers. It would go through Santa Clara. And that's where the Super Bowl will be hosted, in Santa Clara, California. So the 49ers have an opportunity here to have one of the greatest seasons by a team, injury-riddled, drama-riddled, this, that, and the third, having to deal with all the distractions. The Indianapolis Colts are walking into a buzzsaw on Monday Night Football. I'm going 49ers. They probably hang up 35 points, and then they probably limit Phillip Rivers to 13 points, 35-13. John Lynch has done a great job of being able to build this team and being able to bring the talent in for the 49ers to continue to win, even after the contract that they gave Brock Purdy. A lot of people were saying that the 49ers window was closed for Super Bowls because they didn't really respect what they were seeing on tape with Brock Purdy. But Brock Purdy, to his credit, has been able to keep this team afloat, and Mac Jones too as well, having Mac Jones play a critical part of keeping the San Francisco 49ers on track to make this late season run. So Coach of the Year obviously would have to go to Kyle Shanahan if they're able to pull off the last 3 games here and secure that number 1 seed. I got the 49ers winning this game and just an exciting team to watch the rest of the way. All right, that brings us back to the Buffalo Bills and the AFC. Second in the AFC East, and we did talk about their huge comeback against the New England Patriots. They go up against Myles Garrett. I know Myles Garrett's probably the only scary thing about Cleveland at this time. Shedeur Sanders still developing as a young quarterback, but the Buffalo Bills have an opportunity here to continue to creep up in the AFC seeding. Jim, what's your take on Josh Allen on what can happen this week against the Cleveland Browns and what needs to happen?
He needs to throw 6 touchdowns and run for 4 more. That's not a good team. He needs to at least get 4 throwing, 2 running, and he's going to run right over. He's going to be taken out in the third quarter. That's how he needs to play. He needs to play like this is a preseason game. I'm going to outrun you. I'm going to outthrow you. I'm going to find all your weaknesses. I don't care if you have one of the best. I don't care if you have one of the best defenses in the league. I'm going to beat you any way I can, and I'm going to go Buffalo 37-3.
Wow. Just 37-3. Okay. Coach, your thoughts?
I'm going Buffalo easily. Cleveland's defense is stellar. They are extraordinary, but the offense can't do jack smack. So I love Shedeur, but you're talking about a juggernaut on offense with Josh Allen and the Bills. I'm looking at something like 14-31 Buffalo. They run away with it just because the offense is going to be so inept and can't do nothing.
Yeah, I'll keep things very brief here. Yeah, Buffalo has proved they're a powerhouse for years and years, and obviously with Josh Allen, reigning MVP, they're going to take care of business here against Cleveland. I think it's going to be 30-10 Buffalo, and I'm expecting Josh Allen to continue to put up MVP numbers. And Shedeur Sanders, we'll see what he can do, but Myles Garrett, that's one player that I will be watching on Cleveland's side of the ball. He has an opportunity right now at 20 sacks to beat the NFL record at 22.5 sacks, and he had set his own goal at 25 sacks at the beginning of the season. So that'll definitely be something to track for Cleveland, but I got the Bills winning this one 30-10 going away. James Cook is going to start cooking against this Cleveland defense. And I think Josh Allen is going to be a threat the rest of the way. So the AFC is definitely going to be scared to play them in the first round if they don't get a first round bye. That brought us back to the Packers. We already talked about the Packers-Bears game, but the Packers, they got a lot on the line. The last 2 games, they got the Vikings. I believe they got the Vikings, and who do they have after Chicago?
Isn't it Chicago and then Vikings? Isn't that the last 2 games?
They
got. Or is there one more?
They got one more. Hold on. Help me out here.
No, so they're playing Minnesota.
Hold on.
And then
They got, don't they got
next
Baltimore? They get Baltimore.
Baltimore. Yes, Baltimore.
Okay. So,
Which,
yeah, if they
I'll send the videos. I might be going.
exactly. Like I got the Packers winning and then playing Baltimore. So I feel with the win, they're at a 99% clip. With a loss, they dropped to 78%. But yeah, we'll just leave it at that. And that gets us to the last team on the AFC side with the 7th seed, the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud, D'Amico Ryans, part of the coaching tree, the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree, leading the Houston Texans up against the Las Vegas Raiders. What do you expect to see in this game? We can go with Coach Chauncey.
The Raiders versus who?
Raiders versus the Houston Texans.
Oh God, it's gonna be a massacre, son. It's gonna be like 42, 45 to like 7. I'm not even joking. That pass rush and how terrible the Raiders are on defense. Offensively, they can't do anything either. It's gonna be ugly. I'm saying 42, 45 to 7, 10, something like that. It's gonna be ugly.
It's going to be
Wipe
ugly.
out.
Ooh, okay.
What does that song go? UGLY, you ugly. You ain't got no alibi, you ugly.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Yep.
just defines the Raiders season how it is. It is ugly. And if my mind is correct, didn't they get shut up last week?
They did get
31
shut
nothing?
up. Correct. 31 donut.
Oh, so it's simple. It's going to be 31 nothing again. It's simple and easy. They're not going to score another point.
What did the Titans quarterback Ward say? Hey, bro, I'm gonna keep it 100. We asked.
Yes.
That's the Raiders story.
That's the Raiders.
If you capture their season, that's the statement. That's the catchment of the season. Hey, bro, I'm gonna keep it 100. We asked.
Oh, Jim, you stole my thunder. I'm gonna go with the shutout. I can't see the Raiders putting up points against this Houston Texans defense. They just got obliterated by Philadelphia last week on the road, and they get Houston coming off of a huge game, and Houston knows that they need this game. I got Houston shutting them out as well. We'll switch up the score. We'll make it 45. 40-0. We'll do 40-0. 40 donut.
I could see them getting some garbage time points. That's why I didn't go shutout because once they call the dogs off and they take CJ out and all the best pass rushers come out, they're gonna get some little garbage time points.
Right. Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, they come off the field.
Yeah, they all go out, put ice on their knees.
Yeah,
they're gonna get some garbage time points.
Stingley comes off the field. Right. But Pete Carroll, I don't know. This is a sad way to go out, especially with Kenny Pickett. At some point, you got to see what you can get out of Ashton Genty with actually next season being able to invest in a better offensive line because Ashton Genty did show some flashes, but honestly, just keep it 100. We are ass. That's the Raiders. That is totally the Raiders at this stage. And we did talk about some of the teams here on the bubble. So we can talk about the teams that are on the bubble right now real quick. We talked about the Colts. More likely they will be eliminated with a loss to the San Francisco 49ers, which we all predicted. And the Baltimore Ravens, we did take a look at their possibilities to make the playoffs, but a very uphill battle. More likely the Ravens are on the outside looking in and probably staying that way unless they're able to upset the New England Patriots, somehow beat the Packers, and then finish against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Highly unlikely that the Ravens are going to stay consistent the rest of the way. And then we did dissect the Lions matchup against Pittsburgh. And then Carolina, the first of 2 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then we did literally put a fork in the Dallas Cowboys, and we all agree that they're done after this week, because if they lose, they're at 1%. At that point, no one's considering them as a playoff team moving forward, especially with Philadelphia with 2 more games against the Washington Commanders to win the NFC East. All right, so that brings us back to all the injuries so far in the NFL. We had Patrick Mahomes go down last week with the torn ACL. We had Micah Parsons go down with a non-contact torn ACL. And we also had Devontae Adams go down with a hamstring that was re-aggravated. What can we take away from all this? Like, is the NFL, are they able to add an additional off week to prevent a lot of these injuries? Or are we just going to continue to see a rise in injuries just with more games being played by bigger, faster athletes?
It is a challenge. So it's multi-pronged. One, the surface is an issue. So playing on the field turf and comparing that to playing on natural grass, there is an inarguable amount at the NFL level, especially because they're so big, so strong, so fast. So much torque is being put on those knees to where there is a indisputable amount of knee issues. Okay. Aside from that, the extended season doesn't help, and some of these fast turnarounds. You play on Sunday and then you have a Thursday game. That additional stress puts a lot of pressure on the body over the course of 18 weeks. And then some teams, like the Chiefs, for example, because they've had long playoff runs each year, they've played an additional full season of football.
Right.
3 or 4 games, you multiply that over the last 5 or 6 years, they've played an extra full season of football. And because they've gone further into the into the calendar year, they have a shorter amount of time of recovery. Absolutely. So it is kind of a multi-pronged challenge, and unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast. So unfortunately, to see a player like Patrick Mahomes to go down, massive blow to the NFL, massive blow to us as fans. Okay. Devontae Adams will be back. He just tweaked his hamstring. From what I understand, it's just a tweaking of it. It's not a tear. He just needs some rest. He'll be back for playoffs. And Micah Parsons, non-contact, rushing a quarterback, not doing anything crazy, didn't hyperextend. It's just
change of direction. Right.
Yeah, just
something you do in the game every single snap, right?
Yep. So it's tough, man. It's the nature of the beast, and they say in the NFL especially, it's not if you get injured, it's when. It's part of the game, and unfortunately, the nature of the beast.
It's a battle of attrition, absolutely. The breakdown was like 40% of injuries so far to mid to late December. 40% were sprains and strains. 25% were contusions. 10% were fractures, like for example, like a Daniel Jones, where he's getting carted off with the hairline fracture and just the broken the Achilles as well, and then 5% for concussions. So yeah, it's just an ongoing battle to keep these players healthy. Jim, also wanting to get your take on all these major injuries with Patrick Mahomes, Micah Parsons, and all these stars that are they're not finishing the season, for their teams that are competing late into February.
I mean, Coach hit on the head there. I mean, especially with Mahomes and everything, you go into deep runs, you play multiple seasons, and it's not like it's been one and done. It's been for the past 3 out of 4 years, 3 years that they have been making these deep runs, and their time to recover is short every single year. that it's bound to happen. And yeah, it's the NFL. It's not if you get injured, when you get injured. So you hate to see it. No one ever roots for an injury. Hopefully, everyone who got hurt gets better and they're able to come back stronger next year, able to get everything ready to go. They're showing the Packers Soldier Field on the TV, so screw that. It's you hate to see it, but it opens up chances for rookies to get their chances. These players that you never thought would see the field will never get a chance to go on to play an NFL game, to get their first catch, to get their first tackle, to get their first interception. That's something that an opportunity, and I know Coach can back up on this. You lose an opportunity, well, it's your loss is someone else's gain, and that it's just going to build your team even harder because now you have competition. Now, just because you're a superstar doesn't mean that you're guaranteed the spot back. You have to now compete to get your spot back, if you kind of get what I'm saying.
Absolutely, yeah. Just being able to stay on the field and the longevity of these players is in question. Moving forward, especially with how the schedule is built out and who gets the late bye week, because I feel like that is a bigger advantage going forward into the postseason play. Just taking a look at all the players that have been nicked up so far. I mean, we got to give credit to Lamar Jackson where the credit's due. He's been able to stay on the field, even missing some games, but you know that he's not at 100%. He's at like a 95, 85 kind of clip at this point where he's not really running the ball like he normally is. Also giving credit to Justin Herbert, not playing fully healthy, but showing up for their team to stay in competition and actually close out the season strong. But injuries have given a lot of rookies opportunities. Think of J.K. Dobbins going down with an injury and seeing what R.J. Harvey has been able to mean to the Denver Broncos. Real quick, I just want to get your guys' take on the rookies that have impressed you so far this season, given their opportunities, whether they stepped in after an injury or just what they've been able to do with the opportunity that has been given to them.
Rookies.
Trayvon Henderson. I'll just write off some names. Trayvon Henderson, Emeka Egbuka, Territora McMillan, Jackson Dart going up against the Minnesota Vikings this week, Tyler Warren, Tyler Shaw, R.J. Harvey, Harold Fannin Jr., Quinshon Judkins, Omarion Hampton, Kyle Monangai. I'll just stop there, and then I'll continue with some more rookie names.
For me, Warren stands out the most. He's been a legitimate go-to player and has impressed upon the league that he's legit. I wasn't super high on him coming out. I knew he was going to be good, but I thought he was overhyped. But he's the tight end for the Colts, right?
Correct. Tight end for the Colts out of Penn State. Correct.
Yeah, where would they be without him?
That's a good case. He's been versatile for them in just their overall offense and their scheme that they draw up. That's a good pick, Jim.
Yeah.
I'll continue with some names. Woody Marks with the Houston Texans, given the opportunity that Joe Mixon is out with an injury all season long. Ashton Genty, Rondé Gatson, Shadur Sanders, Colson Loveland, and Cam Ward.
Listen, I wish I could say Cam Ward. I mean, thrown into Tennessee Titans where you get no help, you're expected with all these big things, and you flop. Not saying he's a flop, not saying he is anything. It's his rookie year. I have to go with Buka. I think when Mike Evans went down, he stepped up to be the number one guy. Everyone was talking about him until he got hurt. I think he was a big addition to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think he is great, and when he comes back healthy, I'm not sure if he's still playing right now or not. He's still injured.
He's still playing.
But Still playing. So yeah, he's come back. He's bolstered that wide receiver. So you're not just focusing on Evans. It's not just the one name. You have Mbuka now to look at. You have Evans. You got to worry about. That's who I think I'm going with.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to go with Trevion Henderson because he didn't get that opportunity right away with Ramondre Stevenson starting the season as RB1, but gradually, the cream rises to the top, and Trevion Henderson has just been a weapon that the New England Patriots have been able to utilize late into the season, and I think that was maybe by design. And I know that Mike Vrabel is a big Ohio State guy, and Trevion Henderson coming from the Ohio State, realizing that you got to avoid that rookie wall. And I got to give a lot of credit to the names that you mentioned, Tyler Warren and Emeka Ibuka. They're right there. They're right there for the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. What will be your grades? And then we'll take on the next topic here.
Grade for who?
Grades for Tyler Warren so far on the season.
Oh, yeah, I would say A+, man. Running game with the Colts being such a big deal, with any great running game, a good tight end is an X factor. So, like I say, I don't know where their offense would be without him and that reliability for Daniel Jones when he was healthy. And then now you got a 44-year-old quarterback coming in there. They say a tight end is a running game, and a good tight end is a quarterback's best friend. So I'm giving him an A+.
All right, A+. Jimmy.
If I had to go with Mbuka, I gotta give him a strong A. Coming in there as a rookie, he's been putting up numbers, stepping up when he needs to be. The injuries, it's not his fault he gets injured, but he's been a strong showing for them. He definitely is a receiver that's going to stick around with them, or even in the league for years and years to come. He's going to be one of those household names that we're going to be like an instant draft during fantasy football next year. I think a lot of people are going to do that, or people are going to stay away from him because he's just going to be that good that teams are going to double him.
E squared. I mean, yeah, he's definitely been a guy that has been raved by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's the same way that Randy Moss was getting raved on his way into the NFL. So yeah, really excited to see how his career progresses. With Trevion Henderson, I got to give him an A++ because he's revived what the running game was not with the New England Patriots, and that gives them the opportunity to be a contender late into January and potentially have an opportunity to make it to Santa Clara to play in the big game. All right, so we've talked to extent a lot of NFL. I know college had a huge kickoff with college football playoff with Alabama and Oklahoma. Huge game for Alabama to come back, score 27 straight points. I know thumbs down. I'm not a big Bama fan, but the SEC, they had two dogs in the fight, and they came out on top. So, and 50 Cent tried to will Oklahoma to a win and saying that they were hard to kill, but they looked anything but, especially with those killer missed field goals late in regulation that just took the wind out of the sails for the Oklahoma Sooners. Games that are currently being played, we had Miami and Texas A&M, a couple missed field goals, low-scoring game. Jim, do you have your eyes on that game currently?
The Fresno State one? Because the Miami won.
Miami won. Okay. Miami won.
They won on like a pick six.
They won on a pick six, so it was a defensive battle. 10-3,
yeah.
10-3, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So they beat Texas A&M. Texas A&M is eliminated. Miami moves forward, and it's Ole Miss and Tulane, correct, at this time?
Yes. No. It's Fresno State. I mean, I could be look at the wrong one. Fresno State is what I'm seeing here.
Okay, so is that a bowl game? That must be a bowl game. I'm talking about the college football playoff.
Oh yeah, Ole Miss Tulane, yes.
Ole Miss to Tulane. Okay, that's underway, or is that about to
Yeah,
kick
it's
off?
underway.
It's
Ole
over.
Miss.
They blew them out like 45-10 or something.
You know what's going on right now? Ole Miss is winning 14-3.
14-3. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the nightcap is going to be Oregon and James Madison.
Yes.
Okay. So
I
we.
believe so.
Okay. Okay. On it. Okay. You're on it. You're on it. Okay. So Miami. Did anything impress you with Miami in the game that you were able to watch?
It was a defensive game. It was so bored that one of my my editor fell asleep watching it.
Okay. That's how exciting it was.
Yeah.
So you get Miami, Ohio State, and that will be the matchup in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. That will be December 31st, so New Year's Eve. And then we already know that Alabama and Indiana on New Year's Day for the Rose Bowl. And the winner of Ole Miss and Tulane, that's currently underway. Ole Miss up 14-3, about 5 minutes left in the first half. Ole Miss would get a date with Georgia at the All-State Sugar Bowl. I would imagine that would definitely be a heavy Georgia crowd, right? I feel like Georgia is going to travel really well for that, knowing that they have the Bulldogs right in their backyard, right there. But again, Ole Miss is not that far from Mississippi, so that's going to be an interesting matchup. And then Oregon, James Madison, winner gets to play in the Capital One Orange Bowl against Texas Tech. And I think Texas Tech is kind of like the forgotten fourth seed here.
Sorry. What are you saying, Brook? Sorry, I got a little distracted.
No. I was talking about the current matchups that are projected right now. We are going to get Ohio State, Miami, and then winner of that would be advancing to the Fiesta Bowl. And then the Sugar Bowl is yet to be determined between Ole Miss and Tulane, who will be taking on Georgia. And then the game that we know already that's set up is Indiana, Alabama on the first of the year. And then the other New Year's Day game will be Texas Tech and the winner of Oregon and James Madison. Coach, what's your take? Were you able to watch the game last night? Have you watched a little bit of the game so far today?
Yeah, I was able to watch that Alabama-Oklahoma game. Oklahoma crapped the bed, brother. They were up 17-0 at one point and let Alabama come storming back, and they never regained control of the game. So that coach and that team, that fan base got to be really, really struggling today, and will be struggling for quite some time after that loss, because they had every bit of control of that game, and to allow 27 unanswered to lose the game is just terrible. Miami earlier, they technically upset Texas A&M with a dramatic red zone stop with seconds left, so that was good. I've always been a low-key Miami fan just because, from back from the 80s and 90s, early 2000s, just the culture, so I love it. And this college football is better when Miami is relevant and good. So
absolutely,
I was happy to see that, and it's going to be a good playoff. So I'm excited. Oregon should blow out James Madison. Should
keyword.
All the pressure is on Oregon, because even if that game is competitive, that's not a good look for Oregon.
Yep, they're 20.
It's a great look for the playoff if James Madison is able to give them a game that justifies them being there and those lower tier teams being in the playoff. But if Oregon struggles with them even a little bit, it's not going to be a good look for Oregon.
Absolutely, and realizing that what Oregon has is a 20.5 point favorite going into this game. All the pressure is on Oregon to deliver and get to that Capital One Orange Bowl on New Year's Day, and Dan Lanning could get that rematch against Indiana in the Final Four if they were able to win against Texas Tech, and then also Indiana, the team with their Fernando Mendoza winning the Heisman last weekend. That could set up an all Big Ten semifinal on January 8th, leading to January 19th, where it could be Ohio State, it could be Miami. That's a toss-up game. And then Georgia versus whoever wins. And Ole Miss just tacked on a field goal, so it's 17-3. So if we were to pencil in Ole Miss right now, Ole Miss, Georgia, I would have to go Georgia in that matchup. And then Miami, Ohio State. I would love to see Miami, especially against Ohio State, get a little bit of revenge on the national championship that should have been Miami's, but was taken away due to a controversial call. That was back like in 2002 or something, back when Miami was going for a repeat. But nonetheless, Ohio State is going to be a tough out, and just watching all these teams that were given rest last year, it was rest versus rust. A lot of teams that got the rest were eliminated last year in the college football playoff. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the holidays, going into New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. A lot to watch for the college football playoff. But we can shift gears here, because I know that that's a lot to talk about right now. That's really forward, almost like a month from now, we'll be talking about the national championship on January 19th, which will be in Miami Gardens. So Miami has a really cool opportunity to play in their backyard in Miami Gardens for the national championship against one of the top teams in the college football playoff. Let's talk some NBA. We did have the NBA Cup, which I know, Jim, that's your favorite tournament in all of sports. Sarcasm in my voice. The New York Knicks were able to beat the San Antonio Spurs 124-113. The Knicks win, but they refuse to put the banner up for the NBA Cup. So we get it. It's a money grab. But one cool thing that I got to preface this before I open this topic and have the discussion here. The Knicks did a really good job. Their stars Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, they made sure that a lot of the people that are forgotten or in the behind the scenes, the staff, the vendors, they were actually included in that bonus, because a lot of these players, they were getting that $1 million bonus on winning the NBA Cup, but they made sure to actually distribute that with their in-home New York staff, the New York Knicks staff. But I'll open it up here for the discussion. Anybody can chime in on the NBA Cup and what you like to see, what you don't like to see.
Me, I'll go first.
Yeah, go
I'm
first.
I'm actually a fan of it, and here's why.
Okay.
The NBA season is so long. There's so many games. Just to have a little bit of that excitement and to increase the competition level, I like it. Now, for it to be like an NBA Finals level of fanfare for it, I'm not exactly on board with that part of it, but I think the initiative and the effort that they're trying to make is to make the season more engaging and make the regular season count and matter. So from that standpoint, I like it. I'm all about competition, and honestly, I'm a huge Lakers fan and a casual Wolves fan, and I honestly don't watch a ton of basketball until like March, after football season's officially over and we're getting towards playoff positioning. The games start to matter when they start to play hard, when the stars are playing every night. Like, that's when I start to tune in to NBA for those reasons. So I'm a fan of it overall.
Okay, that's fair. That's valid points. Coach. I appreciate that, Chauncey, for giving us a little bit of color on your NBA fan experience. Jim, I know you love to tear into this topic, so let the Wolverine loose.
I think it's the most I think it's the most stupidest thing that you could do
Stupid.
for a regular season. And listen, I know, Coach, you said that the season's long, but every season's long except for football. Every season's long. NHL, MLB, NBA, it's all long. And as a fan, yes, it's hard to watch. It's stupid. I think it's stupid. It's why are we having a tournament? A tournament that, yes, I agree, goes to the front office, should go to the players who don't play. But yes, it goes towards the record. But who really cares? You're making something special out of something that's nothing. It's just a tournament. You can make this a holiday tournament, and you could be like bragging rights. Cool. It makes no sense to me. If you really want fan engagement, you should try to get. First of all, you need to try to work on your All-Star game, because my goodness, the NBA All-Star game has been boring from what I've heard from sports people here, from my friends who follow basketball. Has been a problem. Work on that first. Work on fixing your All-Star game to where people are going to want to watch that before you start adding in tournaments and everything. I'm not a big fan. I'm glad that the Knicks are not putting any banner up, because that's just another thing that's stupid. Like, why are we putting a banner up for an in-season tournament that makes no sense? And you're not even winning the league. You're just winning a tournament against some teams who maybe in the playoffs come March, maybe the teams that are winning it are not going to be in it anymore. What? My God, I hate this. I hate this tournament so damn much. I hate it. The only thing I like about it, it helps the people at the end of the bench, and it helps people in the front office. I hate this tournament. Make it more fun for the fans, because to me, it's just another regular season game with just a tournament aspect in it. What bragging rights are you getting? Makes no sense. Make that make sense to me why this is so important, that a fan's going to turn on the TV, turn on this tournament, and make it mean something, when the playoffs is when people really care more about it, like actual playoffs. Make it make sense.
It's just an appetizer. We know that the NBA is just going to be serving. They're serving you a 5-course meal. This is just the appetizer before they get to the Christmas day. Where you get your Christmas Day cookies. You get your game to start off Christmas Day. The Cavaliers and Knicks. And I mean, like there's rounds here, and I know that it's not for everyone. It's not for the casuals, and I know a lot of people tune in like March, April, the playoff push. A lot of fan bases are probably tuned out, especially if you're an LA Clippers fan, New Orleans Pelicans fan. You're probably like already done with the NBA. So this is just something to give those fan bases at least something that they can at least achieve in the regular season, because they know that their team is not going to be playing in the playoffs. Like the Sacramento Kings, who sit at 6-21. Same thing with the LA Clippers, and the New Orleans Pelicans are these perpetual teams that are just in the cellar. So that gives them an opportunity to at least compete in a tournament. And I know it's an in-season tournament, but the teams that actually made it to the Final Four, given that it was the OKC Thunder, so this is the team that are the defending champs, and the San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio Spurs eliminated OKC to get it to the NBA Cup, and then the Orlando Magic lost to the New York Knicks. So the Final Four there, those teams' current NBA standings, OKC is number 1, and San Antonio is number 3 in the West, and you got New York Knicks at number 2 in the Eastern Conference, and then you got the Orlando Magic, who are a 6th seed. I know that Minnesota is at a 6th seed, but they didn't make it to the NBA Cup Final Four. So that kind of gives teams just a little bit more of that competitive push. And some people are just going to be motivated by the monetary gains, and I get that. And I think that's what the NBA is trying to push, is that a lot of these NBA teams were doing a load management, and they were trying to get away from that and incentivize what they can. I know it's a pizza party at the end of the day for these NBA players, but it means something for the fans that are diehard. They get to see their teams, especially in a market that the NBA is trying to break into, Las Vegas. So we got to also think big picture here. They're trying to get into Las Vegas.
Well, here's the thing. Vegas, they already have a hockey team, so it's already been broken into.
They're going to get a baseball team.
They're getting a baseball team.
Yep.
Basketball team, they're going to do well there. And Vegas, they'll have this. They'll have the Final Four. They'll get Final Four. We all know they will. But if you're a diehard fan, of those teams in the cellar, you're watching them anyways. You're still going to root for them. Hell, my hockey team, they haven't been playing good. They were in the cellar at one point. They're clawing their way back. But I still watch them because I'm a diehard fan. You've got to get the fans more invested in this. You could say this is a great thing. And as a fan of a team, I don't want to walk around saying I won this in-season tournament that means jack crap. And I don't want to say that. That means nothing. You won a mid-season tournament, that means nothing? No, I'd rather, why celebrate that when you can celebrate your team winning a champion 2-3 years down the road? Yeah, you're getting more eyes on the product with this fancy marketing and everything. But at the end of the day, as a fan base, I don't care if we win this stupid in-season tournament. I want to see my team win the whole damn thing, the whole damn league. And load management, you really want to talk about load management? That's one thing. Another thing that basketball has to deal with. I understand they're trying with this, but come on, there's other sports, load management, that have done it way better and don't even have load management, and they all make fun of the NBA because of it.
Yeah, I know with the NBA, they're trying to globalize the game, and I know the global game is these fans, they want to see the stars up close, and just realize that Vegas is a world destination. I feel like that gets them a little bit closer to a lot of these fans that normally wouldn't be able to get out to watch a French superstar in Victor Wembanyama, who is definitely on the rise, and we knew that he was going to be good. That was not going to be any kind of breaking news, but for him to get to this level where now we're going to see Victor Wembanyama in the playoffs, and now we got a little taste of it in the NBA Cup in some kind of tournament setting where it was a elimination where you got to win to get forward. But now we know that this is the appetizer again, Jim. We know that this is not the playoffs. It's not the NBA Finals. We're gonna bring it back. We're gonna bring it back to this is just the NBA just trying to appease the global spread of the game. That's what it is.
You know what they want to do? If they want to spread the game more in the United States, I know the global, but let's just take the United States. Why not have this tournament in a place that's not Vegas, in a place that doesn't have those sports teams? Example, I'm just throwing out let's just say, I don't know, Idaho.
Abu Dhabi? Are we playing this in the Emirates? It is the Emirates Cup. So are we talking about Dubai? We're gonna have a tournament in Dubai because they do preseason games out there. But I think Vegas
leave the preseason
Vegas
games
works.
to the international stuff. If we want to focus on growing the game locally in the United States, let's go to these places that doesn't have
Seattle.
Seattle works. That has a population but doesn't have a team, but there could be a team, or you go to like I said, Idaho. You go to these states that doesn't have anything, and not only do you bring the game there for those people who live there, you help the economy for the short while that's happening. You help give kids who probably stuck at home that will never go to a basketball game in their life, give them a chance to go out there. And if you do that though, you have to bring the ticket prices down for locals only. If you're not in the area, keep them high, but local only should be able to get cheaper tickets so they can go to the game. and then with everyone coming in, they can help their economy with like hotels, rentals, food, and everything. I think that's a cool way to bring more interest to it.
Kind of like an NBA tour, kind of have the NBA kind of
Yeah.
tour throughout the U.S. Maybe Hawaii, that would be kind of interesting. And I know that would definitely be an attraction for some NBA fans to go out to Hawaii, or there's some Hawaiian NBA fans that haven't been to a live NBA game unless they've traveled outside of Hawaii. Obviously, that could give some interest. But we'll put this subject to bed. I know it's definitely getting long-winded, but I wanted to kind of just bring that up because I know that you're very passionate about it, and I just wanted to kind of hear your argument on it. But then I was just going to be the counter and just say like, hey, this is why they're doing it, and this is why it's successful, and there is impacts, and that's what we're seeing right now. But getting back, I know we did talk about load management debate, but I want to kind of dive into Chris Paul and the Clippers a little bit, because what I'm hearing is that Chris Paul was trying to be a team leader, but every time he was trying to kind of surround the team and kind of harmonize, everybody recoiled, and they were just like, no, we don't want to go to your Halloween party hosted by your wife. And even when his wife and Chris Paul did another party in the suite, there was only three players that showed up. And I know that there's been back and forth, and I've been talking and texting with friends that are big NBA fans. They said James Harden was upset with him, Ty Lue was upset with him. Some rumors around Chris Paul just saying that he was wearing on the Clippers, but then on the flip side, maybe teams were getting wearing on Chris Paul. So what's next with Chris Paul? Is he just going to retire at this point, or do you see him maybe latching on to a team in his final NBA season?
Well, first off, Chris Paul had a long history of being very hard to deal with and work with. So even back in his prime, he got away with it for the most part because he was a very impactful, productive player. Now you an old head, bro. You the 10th, 11th, 12th man on the bench. Ain't nobody trying to get yelled at, cussed out, fussed at by the old head who ain't on the court making no plays. And coming in here, he was there before, and he's a Clippers legend, but coming in here, trying to take over the team.
As a boomerang.
Hey, yeah. So it's like, yes, leadership is valued. He should have the ability to speak and say his piece, but doing it in a way where people feel disrespected and the way he be turning up on people, ain't nobody trying to hear that, especially from, again, an old player at the end of his career who's not going to be making any impact on the court. So calm down, bro. Go sit down in the corner and be quiet.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair take. Chris Paul has been averaging 2.9 points, 1.8 rebounds, and 3.3 assists, and a field goal percentage of 32.1. You're not going to be able to have that leverage to pull rank on any of those Clippers players that are currently playing. And they may have seen him in his earlier days with the LA Clippers, but they were not able to solve it. He is at age 40 now, and it looks like he should have stayed with San Antonio. I think San Antonio was the best situation for him, especially if he wanted to be a mentor and in a stable organization. When he decided to go to the Clippers, I was like, I don't know if it was going to last as long, and obviously it didn't last as long as we thought it was going to be. Chris Paul has turned into Cliff Paul, and that it's a sad way to go out. Yeah.
He probably seen himself, again, retiring, having his swan song, let me go back to the team where, I had my most success with and that kind of thing. But you going there to retire and have your swan song is one thing. It's a completely different thing to go there and be a jerk.
Right. Facts.
Yeah. I mean, don't be a dude. Like, you're at the end of your career. Don't be that a-hole who's trying to make yourself something at the end of the game. Like Coach said, he really hit the head on that one. I have really not much to say about it. Yeah, don't be an a-hole, man. Like, come on.
Absolutely. All right, we'll shift gears here, and then we're going to be wrapping up here very shortly. Quinn Hughes joined the Minnesota Wild. I want to get Jim your take. I know you're a big hockey fan, but I think this elevates the Minnesota Wild into a contender for the Stanley Cup on what they're able to put out on all of their lines and being able to pair him with Brock Faber on that line and just letting him be the quarterback on the power play. I just want to get your take on the impact that the rest of the NHL sees with the Minnesota Wild.
I mean, they've taken them. So they gave up good assets to a team that's in the bottom of the league, and they have a great offensive player who, offensive defenseman, mind you. He's not even a forward; he's a defenseman for the blue line, who can put up numbers and everything and make your team better. He's taken the Minnesota Wild and put them in the Central Division in the top 3 playoff spots. He could even help elevate them to 2, even 1. He's that good of a player. And I'm going to go back to last year where something happened where the Colorado Avalanche traded a player to Carolina. He was able to get him to sign an extension, so they flipped it from our assets. So this is something that Minnesota can do. If Quinn Hughes decides he's not going to sign come the trade deadline, or he's not going to re-sign at the end of the season, they can flip him at the draft to get their assets that they gave back. So this is a smart move by Minnesota. They're getting a great player in. They gave up assets. They're going all in right now. They're about to pay the Thrill Kaprizov $15 million next season. If they get Hughes in at a decent size, that team is going to be stacked for years to come.
Absolutely, yeah. They sit in just one of the toughest divisions right now with the Colorado Avalanche, the Dallas Stars, and the Minnesota Wild. They're currently in 3rd, but we do expect them to jump. They're currently riding a 6-game winning streak, and we're going to continue to see the chemistry grow with the Minnesota Wild, and we'll see how far they get once we get to the playoffs. But this is definitely exciting for a fan base that is definitely hungry to see postseason success that they haven't seen with all those first-round exits. And to flip it on the other side, we've seen the Minnesota Timberwolves have the postseason success. They're just coming off a huge win, 127-107 victory against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Anthony Edwards making a return this week and hitting the big shot to clinch the victory for the Minnesota Timberwolves. What can we expect from the Minnesota Timberwolves the rest of the way? I want to get your take. I don't know if you watched the game last night or at least paid attention to some of the results, Coach.
Oh, Coach, you're muted.
I think it might be muted, yeah. Thanks.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. I did not watch the game, but what I will say is that that's a huge win. The Thunder have been absolutely rolling to start the season out and looking like they may be going back-to-back. For them to get a win against that team, especially while they've been playing this well, and for Anthony to be pivotal in the ability to get that win, I think that's great.
Absolutely. Huge win for the Minnesota Timberwolves, being able to get off the canvas, and OKC had eliminated them in the Western Conference Finals. Jim, I don't know if you saw any of the highlights of the game, or I don't know if you watched it. It was on Amazon Prime, so they make it difficult for the casual fans to really watch these games on prime time.
I have not, and I mean, I'll rarely watch unless there's like a big game coming up, or if you guys want me to watch a certain game, I'll put the game on and I'll watch it. But I mean, I feel you. Like, I feel like for the casual fans, like Prime, like if you don't have Prime, you're screwed. It's, I'm surprised, and this goes to every sport. This goes to MLB, NHL, NBA, NFL. They're going to be sucking their consumer dry to watch. If they want to watch every single game, they're going to start suck. The consumers are not going to be able to afford to pay for every streaming service coming around, and it's going to happen at one point. Maybe not this year, next year, but maybe like 4 or 5 years down the road. Every single game is going to be on 5 different streaming services. That they're going to be freaking out that like ratings are down, and we're going to talk about ratings, and we're all going to be like, yeah, you wonder why everything's down. You're charging everyone up the butt. Prices for all these streaming services, we had to get different streaming services. And if I were to get like the NBA pass, I wouldn't be able to watch the either the Bulls or the Timberwolves because it's on my viewing area. So then I have to go find something else to watch it. And fans are just going to go find a way to pirate the games, and it's going to be crazy. And these leagues are just money hungry, and they need to think fan first when it comes to these TV deals and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that comes back to a lot of things that are going on, especially with Christmas Day. There's going to be games on Netflix. There's going to be games on Prime. So that's proven the point. Like, if people are not able to be subscribers to those, or if they're over at a family member's house, especially for Christmas, they're not going to be watching these games. These games will not be available to them if they don't have Netflix and they don't have Amazon Prime, which I know the Kansas City Chiefs will be playing the Denver Broncos, and that will be a game that would normally be, playoff implications on it. But we know that obviously with everything that we'd mentioned so far, that we know that the Broncos are going to be the only team that is going to be in the playoffs in that matchup, and we're taking a look at the Cowboys and Commanders, another team where we know that only the Cowboys will have any kind of chance to make the playoffs, and then the Lions and Vikings, they play on Netflix, and that will be the late game. That will be between the Vikings and Lions. I know the Vikings will be playing, spoiler, this week they play the Giants. I know that Coach, I'm not going to apologize for J.J. McCarthy. I know that you want me to apologize for him, but how do you think he has looked since the last time we did visit on J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings?
He had a heck of a game last week. Last 2 games, he's played very well. So I got to call a spade a spade. If he's playing like trash, I got to say it. If he's playing good, I got to say it. So last 2 games, he's played really well, especially last week's game. Lights out, balling. So hopefully that continues, man. It sucks, though, not to get all off into it, but it's taken, 80% of the season for us to see this potential start to show, and this has been a wasted season as a result. So that's the only thing I've always had. It's not personal against JJ.
Sure.
It's just the fact that we have a very loaded roster, a great coaching staff, and this could have been a year that we could have made another long run in the postseason, a run to the postseason, and make a run in the postseason with everything that we have to work with. So good to see him getting better, getting comfortable. Hopefully this continues, and this is the norm, versus the exception.
Absolutely, yeah. I would agree with you. This was a wasted season with J.J. McCarthy's inability to get going fast enough to keep them in contention. And obviously with Justin Jefferson and keeping him happy and keeping him, fed with the ball. I mean, he is in danger of not getting to 1,000 yards, which is, the first 5 seasons you think that's automatic. Jay Jettas is going to get to 1,000, but he needs to average 52 yards the rest of the way to even sniff 1,000 yards. We'll see if he gets there, but we definitely need to see incremental improvement. The last 2 have been good. This week against the Giants, we get to see him go up against a defense that can make splash plays. We'll see what Abdul Carter can pose a threat for the Vikings offensive line. Also with what Jackson Dart is able to put up in numbers, this could be a shootout. I expect JJ McCarthy to continue to stay hot as long as he's able to make those quick reads and let the game come to him and not be pressing. And then, we will see what comes out of the offseason, a full offseason, and a healthy offseason, because that's going to be a major non-negotiable for JJ McCarthy, is to stay healthy and be available once 2026 kicks off. Jim, we want to say happy holidays. I know we're going to be wrapping up here and let you guys go. We do appreciate you guys sticking with us this long on the topics here that we've had. Any holiday plans I can open it up here with Coach Chauncey. Do you have any holiday plans that you have lined up?
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, right now, we're hosting a kind of a Christmas party situation, cookies, hot chocolate, kind of a festivity event at my house right now. So people are slowly but surely starting to show up and that kind of thing. So it should be a fun time. My wife, her family, some members of my family and friends. So it should be a nice little fun time. But outside of that, not traveling, kind of being low key next week and enjoying Christmas with the fam. But looking forward to it. Should be a good Christmas. I'm all about the big times and memories and taking every day, not for granted, not taking each day for granted, not taking each holiday for granted, because you know how this world is. Life is short and tomorrow's not promised.
Awesome. I want to wish you and your wife a Merry Christmas, to you and your extended family as well.
Thank you. Likewise, brother.
Thank you. Jim?
Yep. Family coming to town. Going to spend a nice week with them. Gonna go see some Christmas lights. It's gonna be a fun time. So I'm excited for it.
Awesome.
What about you, Brook?
And Merry Christmas to you too, Jim.
Merry Christmas.
Yep. What I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be spending a lot of good quality family time, not traveling, but staying local and being able to enjoy the family that I have close here, and just being able to be so grateful to spend this holiday season with warm cheer. And I hope everybody here that is tuning into the 94 podcast, a Merry Christmas. Again, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and a happy and healthy new year to each and every one of you out there. So we do appreciate you here on the 94 podcast. And I just want to bid you guys adieu. Until next time, maybe next year, we'll see you at the TOP. And we're out.